Okay. Is the whiteboard visible? Is the whiteboard visible? So if it is visible means we will start with the class. So today we'll be talking about today we'll be talking about 2D transformation, 2D transformations that are there in computer graphics. So the first point is what do you mean by transformation? What do you mean by two-dimensional transformation? See, um, and the operations will be applied to this objects in the form of changing its position, changing its size, and also rotating the object. So three operations can be performed on the geometrical object. So on the geometrical object, three operations can be performed, such as the operations can be like, one is changing the position of the object, one is changing the size of the object, and the other one is rotating the objects. So these three operations can be performed on an object. So that we will call it as geometrical transformation. So what do you mean by geometric transformation? Means operations that are performed on the objects, like changing its size, changing its position, and changing its orientation. We will call it as geometric um, transformation. So geometric transformation. So what does this geometric transformation deals with? Means geometric transformation means you will be changing its size, you will be rotating that, you will perform rotation means you will be orientation, you can call it as orientation, you can change its position, and and also you can change its position also. So these 3 points we will call it as the basic transformation. So in computer graphics, if you're changing the position, we will call it as translation. We'll call it as translation. If you're changing the angle, if you're rotating the object, we will call it as rotation. Translation, rotation. And if you're changing the size of an object, we will call it as scaling. So these are the basic 2D geometric transformation. One is the translation, which is changing the position. The second one is rotation, which are changing the angle. And the third one is scaling, increasing the size of the object or decreasing the size of the object. So now we'll talk about what do you mean by the translation. What do you mean by translation? So, so the first thing is you want to perform the translation. The first thing is you want to perform the translation. So how this translation can be performed? So see, most of the time the math is involved. Um for example, you want to see here, we'll be considering about the objects which are there in two dimension, x-axis, y-axis, x-axis, and y-axis. I want to I want to move a point. I want to move a point from this position uh, x comma y to another position x dash y dash. I want to move a point from a position with I want to move a point with its coordinate position x comma y to a new coordinate position x dash y dash. I'll call it as p dash. What I want to do, I want to move a point from p to p dash. So how I can do that? For example, the point is at 5 comma 10. I want to move it to a position called 25 comma 75. How I can do that means, for this 5, if I add 20, I'll get the new coordinate as 25. For this 10, if I add 75 minus 10, 65, I'll get the position as 75. So translation means, for a single coordinate point, you are adding the offset value. In our example, for this 5 and 10, I'm adding the offset value 25. I'm adding the offset value 20 comma 65 to get a new position. To get the new position, 25 comma 75. Are you getting this point? Are you getting this point? Someone, you just unmute and you just answer whether you understood how the scaling is done. Did you understand? Yes or no? Yes or no? Whether you understood this? See, you don't write it in the comment box because I should keep on like I should keep on switching that. So the first thing we are talking is about the translation. The first thing we're talking about is translation. So did you get this? What do you mean by translation? Yes or no?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
once more, sir, please.
Yes.
Once more, can you explain?
Okay. See, geometric transformation means you can change the size of an object. You can rotate that object, and also you can change the position of that object. So whenever you're performing an operation of changing its position, you will call it as translation. Whenever you're changing the angle or whenever you're rotating an object, you will call it as rotation. Whenever you're increasing the size of an object or decreasing the size of an object, you will call it as scaling. So now there is a point which is represented in two dimension with the coordinate points x comma y. Now you want to move that point to a new position x dash y dash. For example, the point is at 5 comma 10. Now I want to move this point to a position called 25 comma. I'll just simplify this 25 comma 35. This is my initial point. I want this to be in a new point called 25 comma 35. How this can be done means for this initial position 5 comma 10, you need to add offset value. So if I want to get 25 means for this 5 I should add 20. And if I want to get 35 means for this 10 I should add 25. So if I add this value to the initial coordinates, to this initial coordinates, if I add the offset value, I'll get this final value. So by adding 5 with 20, I'm getting 25. By adding 10 with 25, I'm getting 35. So this is how the translation will be performed. So for a single coordinate point, they will add the offset point to get or to generate a new coordinate position. So like this, if it is a line, if there is a line, if there is a line with AB, you want to move this line from this position, from the coordinate position 5 comma 10. It is starting at 5 comma 10 and it is ending at 10 comma 20, we'll assume. If you want to move this to a new position where it is starting with 25 comma 35 and it is ending at uh, 30 comma 10, no difference is 10, no 35 means it will be 45. So from this position you want to move the line segment to a newer position. Means what it is doing means for every point along this straight line, it will be moved to the new location. For this 5 comma 10, it will calculate the new position and it will be mapped, and after that it will go to the next point. For that next point 6 comma maybe 6 comma 7 or 6 comma 11, like that. For that also it will, for each and every point on this line will be moved by the offset value, and a new line will be, and a new position will be calculated. For this point, what is the new a new coordinate value? For this point, what is the new coordinate value? For the last point, what is the coordinate? Means the offset value will be applied to each points along this line, and a new coordinates will be generated. So this is how it will do. Like each points along the line will be added with offset value to generate a new location, like that. So what I want to tell is, for the entire line AB, you will add the offset value and you will generate a new position. So this is how the translation works. This is how the translation works, or this is how the translation will be implemented. So it is easy to implement in matrix form. It is easy to implement in matrix form. For example, my initial position is x comma y. My initial position is x comma y. So for this, I will add some value. I'll add some offset value tx, ty, so that I will get the new position. I'll get the new position x dash comma y dash. So now what is this x dash? X dash is nothing but x plus tx. What is y dash? Y dash is nothing but y plus ty. So this is how the translation works. So you know that this was the initial position. For that I'm adding the offset. I'm getting the new position. This was the initial value. For this, I'm adding the offset value and I'm getting the new coordinate position. So that is how the scaling is performed in computer graphics. Here you know that x dash is equal to x plus tx and y dash is equal to y plus 2x. So um, we can represent a point represented by x comma y in the matrix system in as a matrix system with a single column matrix as x comma y. So if I write a single comma matrix like a single column matrix x comma xy, so it is a representation of a point. So this point can be represented in a single column matrix as x y. So it contains two rows, one column. The first row gives the value of x and the second row gives the value of y. So it can be represented. So this also can be represented in the form of matrix also. For example, xy, it is represented in the matrix system like this. And the second, the offset distance can be represented with tx, ty to give a new position x dash y dash. So this is a matrix representation where we will call it where we'll call it call this as the translation vector, where I will call this tx ty as the translation vector or shift vector column. I'll call it as a translation vector or shift vector column. So if I take this as p, if I take this as uh, t translation, and if I take this as p dash, we know that p dash is equal to p plus t, meaning the new position I'm able to get the new position by the addition of translation vector or the shift vector column to the initial matrices. So for this translation, the equation will be p dash is equal to p plus t. Is it understood? Is that clear? How it is represented in matrix form? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So see, this translation is a rigid transformation. That means the objects will be formed without any deformation. So this is the example of translation. So this is the example of translation. So after this, so we have generated the equation for translation, which is given by p dash is equal to p plus t. We have given the equation as p dash is equal to p plus t. Um, so p dash is equal to p plus t, where p dash is one coordinate x y dash, and t is given by tx ty, and p is given by the initial position x and y. So now I'll talk about rotation. Now I'll talk about rotation. So rotation means you're rotating an object. You're rotating an object with respect to a point. So the rotation can be performed either in anti-clockwise direction or in clockwise direction. So you can rotate the object in clockwise direction as well as anti-clockwise direction. If you are giving so this is the one point, you can rotate the object in clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. For this also, I'll just draw an image. I'll just draw an image. So I want to rotate an object. I want to rotate an object. So for that, I'll take this position as XR and I'll take this position as YR. So I want to rotate. There is one object like this. I want to rotate this object by an angle theta. So if the value is positive, it will be in anti-clockwise direction. If the theta is positive, it will be rotated in anti-clockwise direction. If the theta is negative, it will be rotated in clockwise direction. So positive theta indicates the rotation is in anti-clockwise direction. Positive theta indicates anti-clockwise direction, and negative theta indicates clockwise direction, the direction anti-clockwise, clockwise. So now you can rotate. So you can rotate this along the xy plane. You can rotate the object. You can rotate the object along xy plane. So the 2D rotation is possible. See, you can rotate an object by giving the rotation axis and the angle theta. So positive means anti-clockwise direction and negative means clockwise direction. So you're rotating the object in the xy plane. You're rotating the object in xy plane. Um, so that the rotation axis will be perpendicular to the xy plane and it will be parallel to the z axis. It will be parallel to the z axis and it will be perpendicular to the xy plane. So here rotation is given by the factor theta and the position is given by the values xr comma yr. Xr and yr will give you the rotation point, the point where you have to start the rotation, and theta will give you the angle of rotation or the object to be rotated. So for this, how to generate the equation for this? So for example, for example, uh, we'll take it as the origin. Initially we'll take it as the origin. From the origin we'll calculate the equation and then we can derive this equation. For example, so initially the object, the angle is, we'll call it as phi. Initially the point is at x comma y. There is something and the distance is r. The distance from this point to this point is r, and you want to rotate this point to a new coordinate system x dash comma y dash by an angle theta. So you want to rotate this by an angle theta. So now how to calculate the equation? So for this you should know few basic terminologies. As per trigonometry, we know that sine theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse, cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So this is the formula. Sine theta is equal to opposite by um, hypotenuse, and cos is adjacent by hypotenuse. So this fundamental formula which you would have studied in 12th math. So you just remember the formula. Sine theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse and cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So if I take sine theta, if I write sine phi, so sine phi will be see, sine phi means this part, the first part, x comma y phi angle. So sine phi is equal to, what is my opposite? Opposite is given by one line y. Opposite is given by y coordinate. Sine phi is equal to y by r. Hypotenuse is given by r. Where to write this? So this is a straight line. This is phi. This is r. X comma y. X comma y means this is gone by x and this line is gone by y. If I write sine phi is equal to opposite of this angle is y divided by hypotenuse is r. So sine phi is equal to y by r. If I write cos phi is adjacent. Adjacent is x. Hypotenuse is x by r. So this is how I'm getting the values of sine phi and cos phi. So if I write sine phi is equal to y by r, cos phi is equal to x by r. So you leave about this equation. So now now we want to find the rotation. Now we want to find the rotation theta. So if we want to find the rotation theta, so now we can apply this. We know that y is equal to, just a cross multiplication, y is equal to r sine theta or r sine phi, x is equal to r cos phi. So now from this figure we know that this is also r. From this figure we know that r is the constant distance. So this distance will be constant along this point. From 0 to x also it will be r. From 0 to x dash also it will be r. And phi is the original angular position of this line xy, and theta is the rotation angle. Theta is the rotation angle. So now if I want to create an equation in terms of this theta means x dash. X dash is nothing but, see, x dash means from the line x to x dash. So x dash is a combination of phi plus theta, whereas x is only phi. So for x is equal to phi, we have generated what is in terms of x and y. Y is equal to r sine phi, and x is equal to r cos phi. But when x dash is phi plus theta means, so the new equation will be x dash is equal to how to calculate this? How to calculate this means the same equation. Now I'm calculating for from the base of x. I'm calculating for x dash, y dash. So now the entire angle I have to consider the entire angle. Now I have to consider the entire angle. This is r. This is y dash. This is x dash. So at this point. So now the angle is phi plus theta. This angle will be complete phi plus theta. So if I want to find cos means cos of phi plus theta is equal to cos means adjacent, no, x dash by r. Again the same for sine also. Sine of phi plus theta is equal to sine of phi plus theta is equal to y dash by r. So y dash will be r into sine of phi plus theta. So x dash will be r into cos of phi plus theta. So this is the equation which will be obtained. So this is the equation which will be obtained. Are you getting this point? Yes or no? Understood or not? So y dash, I'm getting it as r into sine of phi plus theta, and x dash, I'm getting it as r into cos of phi plus theta. Are you getting this? How I derived this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Initially I derived for y and x. No, the same way, instead of phi, it is a combination. It's a combination for x coordinate. It will be r will be common, but angle has increased phi plus theta, and y also r will remain same, sine into phi plus the rotation angle theta. So that is why I'm getting two more values. So after this simplification, I will just erase this. After this simplification, so now you would have studied one formula in mathematics, trigonometry, cos a cos b. So cos of a plus b, so cos of a plus b means cos of a plus b means cos a cos b minus sin A sin B. You would have studied this. Cos of A plus B means cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. I will write that. R into cos A cos B means cos phi cos theta minus sin A sin B. For sin also one formula is there. Sin of A plus B. Sin of A plus B is equal to sin A cos B, like that. So sin of A plus B means cos A sin B minus then what is this cos of A plus B, no, 1 second, plus cos A sin B plus the reverse of this, um, cos B sin A, or sin A cos B also you can write. So this is the formula. So R into cos A sin B plus what is this, sin A cos B. This is a formula. So now x dash is equal to r into cos phi cos theta. I'm just simplifying, minus r into sin phi sin theta. Then y dash is equal to r into cos phi sin theta plus r into sin phi cos theta. Simplification. So now, so you check wherever r sin phi is there, I'll replace it with r sin phi. R sin phi means I'll replace with y. And wherever r cos phi is there, I'll replace that with x. So this will become x cos theta minus y sin theta. Again, r cos phi means x. So this will become x sin theta plus r sin phi means y cos theta. So this is the simplified formula. So now x dash is represented as x dash is simplified as um, x cos theta minus y sin theta, and y dash is represented as x sin theta plus y cos theta. So for rotation also we can simplify the equations. For rotation also we can simplify the equation. How I am simplifying means I've written x dash is equal to x cos theta minus y sin theta, and y dash is equal to x sin theta plus y cos theta. So like this. Now I'm simplifying this. I'll just simplify this. Now how I can write it in the matrix form. Okay, I can write it in the matrix form as P dash is equal to R into P. So the P dash and P will remain same. P dash is nothing but new coordinates x dash, y dash, and P is nothing but x and y. But what about R? R means a two-dimensional matrix. R is a two-dimensional matrix, which I will call it as the rotational matrix. It is given by cos theta, second one minus sin theta, again sin theta, again cos theta. You can ask how this is generated, sir. How it is generated, sir. See, for example, you take what is R? R is a rotational matrix. So cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta. And what is the coordinate positions? X and y. What is P? X and y. So now I do the matrix multiplication. So first row, column. So first is cos into x. So it will be like it is 2 cross 2. This is 2 cross 1. So the result will be a 2 cross 1 column matrix. So cos into x will become x cos theta minus, actually it is plus y sin theta, but minus is there. No, that's why it will become minus y sin theta. Sin theta into x will become x sin theta plus cos theta into y will become y cos theta. So you can check the same equation. X dash is equal to x cos theta minus y sin theta, and y dash is equal to x sin theta plus y cos theta. So that's why in the matrix representation they have simplified this. So that you can verify that through the matrix multiplication. Now for rotation, you can write the simplified equation. P dash is equal to R into P, where P dash is x dash y dash and P is xy, and R is the rotation angle. This is the formula for rotation. After this, the third operation is scaling. Scaling means increasing the size or decreasing the size. So so now a few more points I will just add to this rotation. So now first thing is translation is clear. So rotation, so here I've derived this with respect to origin. I've derived the equation. This equation which I've derived is with respect to the origin. So if you want the same to be applied to some random point, how to do that means, you know that x dash, for x dash, see the previous term, the previous concept which you learned, translation. So initially it was in the equation which we have derived considering as 0 comma 0. Now you want to move it to some position called xr. So just add XR to the equation which you have generated. What equation you are generated? You have generated X dash is equal to X cos theta minus Y sin theta. So for this, add R, add the moving value, the translated value. You want to move this point from this position to this position, means add offset. X dash is equal to XR, Y dash is equal to YR, and also plus this equation. Now X is nothing but initially X was X minus 0, but now X is X minus XR. So now the X will become X minus XR. Now the X will become X minus XR cos theta. This is minus, no? Minus Y will become Y minus YR sin theta. Again, plus X minus XR cos theta. For Y is, this is sin theta, no? Equation sin theta. And Y minus YR cos theta. That's all. So I've derived the equation for origin. Now I'm moving to a position called XRYR. So add XRYR to the equation. To this equation, you add XRYR. And now initially X was X minus 0, but now X will be X minus XR, the mathematical representation. So this is regarding the rotation. This is regarding the rotation. And the next point, so you just keep this point in mind. Now the next point is scaling. So see the example of scaling. When I'm erasing also, the eraser is scaling up. So you can take that as an example of scaling also. So the next one is scaling. Scaling means adding some constant value. So scaling means you will add some value to increase the size of an object. So you can increase the size of an object and you can also decrease the size of an object. So for example, the value of X is 5. You want to make it 50, means what you will do? You will add this 5, you will multiply this 5 with 10. So now the X will become 50. The same concept is being used. So you know that here we are talking about the two-dimensional matrix. Or a 2D plane, we'll be talking about the 2D plane, 2D coordinate system. X comma Y means initial position. You want to scale it to a new position X dash comma Y dash, where X dash is multiplication factor into X, Y dash is also some multiplication factor into Y, the scaling factor. We'll call it as the scaling factor. So when you multiply with the initial coordinate position with the scaling value, you will get the new uh, scaled transformation. So X dash is equal to Sx into X, Y dash is equal to Sy into Y. So or you can the other way around also. X dash is equal to X into Sx, Y dash is equal to Y into Sy. So like this you can get the scaling coordinates. So now how to represent this in matrix? How to represent this in matrix? So how to represent this in matrix means, you know that you want this can be represented, this X and Y in matrix, it is X dash Y dash is equal to the scaling factor. The scaling factor means the earlier representation which I had written S dash into X, Sy into Y. So X and Y you are writing like this only. So now you want the scaling factor. No, you want scaling factor. No, for that along the identity matrix, you just use the scaling value. Along the diagonals of this matrix, use the scaling value Sx, Sy. So if how I will get this equation, X dash, Y dash, Sx into X, the product Sx into X plus 0 into Y will be 0. Again 0 into X will be 0 plus Sy into Y. So finally X dash Y dash will be equivalent to the resultant matrix X into Sx, Y into Sy. That's all. So this is the scaling equation. This is the scaling equation. This is a scaling equation. You are multiplying a value with something. So if I call this as P dash, and if I call this as S, and this as a point, so this is a scaling equation which I will get. So These are the three basic geometric operations: 2D, transformation, that are there: rotation, scaling, and translation. So so if you're for the scaling, if you're giving the positive value, it will increase the size of the object. Anything greater than value 1 will increase the size of the object. Anything less than 1 will reduce the size of the object. Means increase in size means enlargement, reduction means shrinking. So when you are giving x and y the same value, if you are giving this sx and sy the same value, we will call it as uniform scaling. When the values of sx and sy are different, we will call it as non-uniform scaling. So these 2 points we just we will call it as differential scaling. Um, so that's all. So this we have derived. This we have derived with respect to this we have derived with respect to origin. So with respect to origin, we are performing this. We are performing the scaling, and also the same thing. You can perform the scaling to some by keeping some position in mind. By you want to scale an object by keeping some fixed position. So for that you want to start the scaling at some position comma xf comma about a fixed point. You want to do the scaling at about a fixed point for some object. In such cases, the calculations of scaling will be like x dash minus xf difference. The difference between the new position and the fixed position is equal to what was the equation? The initial equation was x dash is equal to x into yes x no the difference between the initial position final position is equal to x minus xf into sx. Again y will be like y dash minus yf is equal to y minus yf into sy. So this is how. So for the origin position, we had calculated this equation s dash is equal to s into x. But if you want to consider it to a fixed position, means you just need to subtract that fixed position. You just need to subtract that. So if you can rearrange this, if you rearrange this, x dash is equal to, I will shift it on the right hand side, xf plus x minus xf into sx. So like terms grouping I will do. So this will be like xf plus x into sx minus xf sx. So now this one I'll move it to the left hand side. After this plus the common term. The common term here is xf. So if I take xf as the common, 1 minus sx. So similarly for y also, y dash about some fixed position means it will be y into sy plus yf into 1 minus s5. So this is the general equation. So this equation, for if you want to scale an object about a fixed position, you can use this equations, this and this equation. So these are some of the points which are related to the basic 2D transformation. So is this clear? The basic transformations? Yes or no? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have studied three equations. P dash is equal to P plus T. Then for rotation, P dash is equal to R into P. And for matrix, P dash is equal to S into P, the scaling factor. So see here, the first one is for translation, rotation, scaling. But these three transformations can be expressed in one equation only, because whenever in the, for example, whenever so whenever in the animation, whenever some animation is there, or whenever a computer graphic application is there, what it will happen means all these three transformations. Like it's not like in the first step they'll do the scaling, then they'll do the rotation, then they will do the translation. Not like that. All the three operations needs to be done in simultaneously, so that will be the efficient one. See, instead of following first, I will do that first, I will do the translation, after that I will do the rotation, after that I will do the scaling. Means if you're doing all these three operations step by step, means it is not efficient, it is not efficient. All the three operations should be done concurrently. So that is how it will work in the real time. So all these operations must be done concurrently, so that it will be fit to the screen without any issue. So for this three basic transformations are there, no? So they can be represented in the general format. So they can be represented in the general format given by P dash is equal to M1 into P plus M2. So here M1 is a 2 cross 2 matrix. M1 is a 2 cross 2 matrix, whereas M2 is a column matrix. M2 is a column matrix. M2 is a column matrix which contains only two elements. It will contain only two elements. So here M1 is a multiplicative matrix. M1 is a multiplicative matrix or multiplicative factor, and M2 is a additive factor. See, this is used for M2 can be used for addition. M1 is used for multiplication. So now P dash is the new coordinate positions, and P is the given coordinate positions. So now we know that from the equation we know that M1 is a multiplicative factor, M2 is a additive factor. So whenever you want to perform translation, So translation means, what is the equation? P dash is equal to P plus T. So P dash is equal to P plus T. So you have to get it to this form. So P dash will remain same. Here P should come as it is. So when you are multiplying M1 into P, whenever you are multiplying M1 into P, you should get the product output as P. So in that case, M1 will be an identity matrix 1 0 0 1. So for translation, this M1 will become, M1 will become identity matrix. For example, I'll just give you an example. See, for example, if P is X comma Y, and I want to perform M1 is 1 0 0 1. So if I multiply M1 into P, if I multiply M1 into P means 1 0 0 1 into XY means 1 into X will be X plus 0 into Y. So it will be X plus 0. 0 into X will be 0 plus 1 into Y will be Y. So I'm getting the input only. It's like I'm getting X and Y. X and Y is nothing but P, the same thing. So so whenever you are performing, whenever the translation is involved, this M1 for translation operation, M1 will become identity matrix. M1 will become identity matrix, and M2 will be the value to which or the shift vector value. So this M2 will contain the values to which the translation should take place, like the offset value. So the M2 will contain the offset values. So this is how. So keep that in this general equation. Whenever the translation is involved, M1 will become identity matrix, and M2 will become the shift vector values. And for rotation, this is for translation. And when rotation or scaling, we know that it is R into P, S into P. For rotation and scaling, what this M2 will do means, M2 will contain the values associated with fixed point, or see, when I was rotating, when I was rotating from this location to this location, this I called it as the pivot. So when the rotation is being performed, M2 will contain the terms associated with this pivot point. When the scaling is being performed, M2 will contain the terms associated with scaling to a fixed point. So this is how this equation will contain. So P dash is equal to M1 into P plus M2 can be written like this. So so this is regarding this is regarding this is regarding the general equation. This is regarding the general equation where you're writing the translation, rotation, and scaling in the single phase itself. You are writing this in the single phase itself. You are writing this. So any doubt with respect to this? See, one more thing is like, see in this equation, the equation which are written, no, P dash is equal to M1 into P. What it was doing means, it was like it was doing some scaling operation, after the rotating operation, after that translation. So instead of doing all these three separately, first translation, then scaling, then rotation, so this is like a time wasting process, or it is not efficient process. So for that what they're doing, um, all these three operations should be combined, so that given the initial value, you have to get the final output. So so that is the main purpose of this. That is the main purpose of this equation. Now this equation will be further refined. Now this equation will be further refined, further refined through a process called homogeneous coordinate. So you just take a break for 5 minutes. We'll then start with this homogeneous equation. You just take a break for 5 minutes. Then we'll start with the homogeneous coordinates.